BraceBay. My name's Chris.
I'm Vahagan.
I'm Addie. That's Jacob, and that's Mary. Sorry. Okay. So, by show of hands, how many of you have had an orthopedic injury in some point in your life? How about a friend or a family member? Great. Not really. So, orthopedic injuries of various types and severity happen constantly. In the US alone, 100,000 were reported to have hand injuries, 200,000 reported to have ACL injuries, and 1 million reported to have knee injuries, all in the course of 1 year. What do all of these injuries have in common? They're each going to require an orthopedic brace.
Now, what if you were one of the millions affected by an orthopedic injury? Where would you go to buy that required brace? Well, when you really think about it, and when it really gets boiled down to the generalized options, you really only have two options. First, a pharmacy or retail store, such as CVS, Rite Aid, Walmart, you get my drift. Pretty much, if you go there, what's great about it is you can get a brace for a very cheap, affordable price. But that brace is not going to fine-tune to healing your specific problem. It's not going to be specialized, in other words. The other option is you can go to a doctor's office or a medical professional. The braces there are going to be much more specialized. Your healing process is going to be way more fine-tuned, but the price is going to be absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be insane. It's definitely going to put a dent in your bank account, which is just a bummer. And when you're done spending all that money on that brace, and when you're done with it, you don't need it anymore, you've finished healing, what do you do with it? Well, for me, my shoulder brace, for my shoulder injury, mine just sits in my attic. Some people dispose of them, ends up in a landfill. That's not sustainable at all. So what if there's another option? Well, that's why we're here today. Here's what BraceBay has to offer. We believe that everyone deserves the right, every human being deserves the right to an effective, efficient healing process, but at an affordable price. So we created an online platform that addresses the problems in the current industry with the orthopedic brace suppliers. We do this by buying back orthopedic braces from people who don't need them. Then we refurbish them to top-notch quality. Then we resell them to those who need an orthopedic brace. So pretty much in other words, BraceBay is creating a sustainable route to dispose of orthopedic braces. We pay you for your orthopedic brace that you no longer need, and then we sell it back to those in need through a centralized site that we have created that offers both reasonable priced and high quality orthopedic braces at the click of a button.
And you may be wondering exactly how this works. Well, firstly, the client will fill in a form found on our website on the condition of their used brace. And from then on, we're going to agree on a cash amount that we will give them, and they will ship the brace to our company at no cost to them, as we will provide the shipping boxes. And then we refurbish the braces, and through CDC disinfection guidelines, we disinfect them, and then we place them on our website onto a little e-catalog. And then this is where the customer and user, in this case they're one and the same, they will browse this e-catalog and then purchase whatever brace they need, and it will be delivered right to their front door. And where we plan on going with this, of course, on our first year we cannot sell every single type of brace. It is just not feasible. We will initially go into selling knee braces, and then we will expand to all the other braces after our first year. And there's an initial starting cost of approximately $25,000, but this should cover the 100 braces that we need to start, and it will cover all the cost of developing a functional website, and it should also cover the baseline cleaning processes. And we determined that we should be able to break even by the end of our second year, and by the third year we should be able to be profitable, and we should have an increased inventory while decreasing our operating costs.
So currently, BraceBay is focused on two main things. First, raising enough seed money to get BraceBay off the ground and operating, and second, finding a way to convince clients to come to BraceBay and sell us their braces. We have to ask ourselves two things. One, how do we advertise and get the clients to us? And two, how can we make this an easy and stress-free process for both the clients and BraceBay? BraceBay is going to continue to buy these braces even after the startup period, but the company is designed to absorb any changes it must make. So this is BraceBay. Brace yourself. The rest of the team's gonna go up with questions.
Question.
Yeah.
So how much do you buy back braces for, and then how much do you resell them for?
Okay, so we buy them back at $20 a piece, and then we resell them at $59.
And
This is on average.
So what's like the average cost of a new brace?
It really varies. Like some knee braces, depending on like what you've hurt, pretty much. Some braces can vary new from like $310 to like above $1,000.
It totally depends if you go to a doctor and get the specialized brace, and then you're upwards in the thousands, or if you go to Walmart or CVS or Rite Aid, then you're at the lower cost. Yeah.
Did you have you guys thought about doing cost tiers? So like depending on like if it were $1,000 brace, like the person
Yeah, well,
obviously
it's
paying them more and then selling it for more.
it's $59 on average. We are thinking about changing the cost base more.
And that goes in the evaluation process. When they send it to it, we evaluate us, and then we evaluate it, and then we tell the customer, like, hey, this is how much your brace is worth, and this is how much we give you.
What does your liability procedure look like in the off chance that for some reason it ends up not working as well as it might if you had just bought it through a doctor or something like that?
I mean, just like if you were to go to CVS or any other place and buy a brace, they're not really liable because, like, you yourself are taking on that risk by buying the brace, so we don't really have any risk by selling them. We would have a disclosure in there that says we don't take responsibility for any injuries of you when you buy the brace.
We do have a process though that helps with like whether we accept the brace or not. So even though it's free shipping for them and like we send them the box and they send us the brace, if it really doesn't work out, and we should be able to tell by pictures and whatever we have them send in the process before we actually pay for shipping and get the brace to us, we're not gonna accept a brace that isn't gonna be efficient.
So how are you planning on attracting customers that have had past ligament tears or knee injuries, given that like after the initial one, you're a lot more susceptible to re-tearing like your ligament or whatever you did to your knee? Like how are you planning on attracting those customers, given like I understand you have this like, you're gonna mark down the cost, but like it's still a used brace, so how are you gonna ensure that it's gonna be to the same standard of like a new brace?
Right. I mean, of course it's not going to be a new brace, like, and I think the user would realize that. And we're really marketing to people that, of course, there is that segment that is going to want to go to a doctor and get, you know, the 100% brand new, like, fully effective brace. But we're really marketing to those that it might not be as serious of an injury and they might not have the best insurance. And so they're going to go to our website and pick out a brace that they know, yes, it's used, and it won't be fully effective, but it will be 90-95% effective, and they would choose that method because it is a cheaper option.
And also, the platform we're using for our website is Shopify. And what's great about that is they connect to multiple other social media platforms, such as Facebook. I use it for my other business in my free time. And pretty much what you do is you install a pixel for marketing into your website. So pretty much the more traffic, the more ads you run on Facebook and all these other social media platforms, it's measuring every single person based on their profile coming in. So then over time, as the company grows, we'll be able to get a complete fine-tuned precision on exactly who's buying or what type of person is buying our braces the most, what they're searching for and stuff like that. So over time our ads, like it's gonna start out a little more broad, but over time our ads are gonna get much more specific and more effective because of this pixel that would be like integrated into the website pretty much.